Good morning. Welcome back to Venture Daily. On today's show, the U.S. Senate just removed the AI regulation ban from Trump's mega bill.
Design software company Figma filed for an IPO yesterday and intends to list on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker FIG. And Cloudflare changes the game for content creators and AI bots. I'm Josiah Simons.
I'm Jackson Fordyce. It's Wednesday, July 2nd. Let's get you smarter before your first meeting. Look who's back in the studio.
Me. Let's see if I can. Yeah.
How does it feel? Leaving us for 10 days, 7 episodes or so like that? How many episodes was it?
It feels fine.
It's nice to get a break.
It was nice to get a break. For anyone out there who watches Venture Daily, you might know how the grind works. But just as a recap, we wake up every Monday through Friday pretty early, 6 a.m., come into the studio, shoot an episode and get it out, hopefully on time for people to listen on their morning commute or something like that. So, going and getting more than 4 hours of sleep every night was really nice.
Did it feel weird? Like I get to actually go to bed?
It did. I did. Actually, it was like you usually on vacation, you get less sleep.
Yeah.
I got significantly more sleep on my vacation.
You got 5 hours instead of 4.
Right. I was in DC. Actually, Jackson was there with me for the weekend. We went to our good friend's wedding. It was a lot of fun. And then I was in Denver, Colorado, actually Estes Park, Colorado for my older brother's wedding. And it was beautiful. So that's not the news though. And you came here for the news. So let's get into
the news. But before that,
news. Oh,
get
okay.
that picture up. This is what it looked like, dude. How lonely it was. Usually,
this is a picture of
the studio.
The studio. Obviously, Jackson's not in it.
One camera.
Took the picture.
Yeah, I'm in that picture.
And it was lonely. It was lonely being away from the studio too. I kind of missed it. It was weird. I didn't expect to miss it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, something about this show, man, it's just magic.
But you're gonna be gone again next week too, so you're gonna miss it even more.
I will be gone again next week, so you guys can enjoy.
I'll be gone in
Jackson
2
again.
weeks, first 2 weeks in September, so he'll be manning that for back-to-back weeks.
Yikes.
All right.
Actually awful.
Yep.
Okay. Let's get right into the news. Silicon Valley just took a major L on Capitol Hill.
In a 99-1 vote, the U.S. Senate struck down a controversial proposal to block states from regulating artificial intelligence, a move that had been championed by some of the biggest names in tech and Trump's own White House advisors.
The provision was buried inside President Trump's sweeping tax bill and would have barred any state receiving federal broadband funds from passing AI laws. That idea had backing from Microsoft, Meta, Andreessen Horowitz, and Trump-aligned founders like Palmer Luckey, Mark Andreessen, and Joe Lonsdale.
But Senator Marsha Blackburn, whose home state of Tennessee, recently passed the Elvis Act to stop AI voice cloning of musicians, led the revolt. She warned the provision would gut protections for artists, kids, and consumers across the country.
A revolt. Wow. The final blow, even Senator Ted Cruz, who initially brokered a compromise to keep a narrow AI freeze in place, voted to scrap it after that deal fell apart.
With over 1,000 state-level AI bills already proposed and Congress still lacking a federal AI framework, states are racing to fill the void on deepfakes, discrimination, and algorithmic abuse.
Yeah, so it makes a lot of sense. Tech industry, I don't think is going to be backing down from this one because they don't want to have 50 different legal requirements from 50 different states that they're trying to follow. At the same time, they're going to want to back one sweeping bill that says, here's the AI regulations, full stop.
Yeah, way easier to follow, way easier to, find loopholes within one bill versus 50 different ones.
Yeah, so I although this was a defeat, it seems for the tech industry, definitely not a retreat.
Yep.
I think that we're going to see still a push for federal preemption, and we'll see what happens in the coming days. All right, next story, Jackson. What do you got for us?
Next story, design software darling Figma just filed to go public, aiming for the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol FIG.
The IPO is one of the most anticipated in years, especially after Adobe's $20 billion acquisition attempt fell apart in 2023 due to regulatory pushback. That breakup earned Figma a $1 billion termination fee, and now it's ready to step out solo.
In Q1, Figma posted $228 million in revenue, up 46% year over year, and a net income of $45 million. The company now serves over 450,000 customers, more than 100,000 spending 6 figures annually, including Netflix, Stripe, and Duolingo, and others.
CEO Dylan Field, age 33, is the largest individual shareholder, holding over 51% of voting power. In his investor letter, he said it's time to end the trend of great companies staying private forever. and that going public will let the community share in Figma's ownership.
The move comes amid a resurgence in tech IPOs under Trump's presidency. Circle, Chime, Klarna, Hinge, StubHub, and CoreWeave have all hit public markets this year, and VCs are desperate for liquidity after a brutal dry spell.
Venture backers include Index Ventures, which has 17%, Greylock 16%, Kleiner Perkins 14%, and Sequoia 8.7%. All the big names.
The big names. But Figma didn't specify how many shares it's selling, but it's clearly a big swing and aiming to give Silicon Valley its first major design tech IPO win in years. We'll keep you updated with the pricing, how many shares are going to sell, and all that information here at Venture Daily.
You buying?
I'm buying.
Yeah, okay.
I'm buying bottomless Figma stock.
All right, for our final story today, Cloudflare is dropping a new tool. And last week we talked about how CEO Matthew Prince spoke that AI poses an existential threat to publishers as search traffic referrals collapse and readers increasingly rely on AI-generated summaries instead of visiting original websites. And so he said this quote about his new tool, that they are working on a new tool that will stop scraping and that it's coming very, very soon. He said this last week. Now it's this week. He also said that every publisher you've ever heard of is on board.
Every one of them.
And so we talked to Ben Narrison about that. We asked for his prediction of what the tool would be like. And so here's that.
Yep.
I mean, I've met Matthew a handful of times, half a dozen or so times. Obviously, NEA funded him. He's a great guy. The company's great. I suspect there's some sort of CAPTCHA style intercept, figure out if it's a robot, stop it from going in. But I think that there's, I'm not going to harp only on this one company. I guess I am. Well, I was talking to ScalePost recently, just a couple of days ago. All of the content providers are right now just trying to understand who and what is accessing their data how. Once you understand that, look, why would you block people if you can get paid by them? Now, it could be that the combination of Matthew's efforts and ScalePost's efforts mean you block, and then first you build the wall around your village, and then you charge for people to come into your village and get your goods. That could be entirely reasonable. But I think generally speaking, the sort of protectedist nature, the build walls around things, it's happened every single time new technology has come out, and those walls have all gotten torn down. We do not need a wall between East and West Berlin. Okay, those things are temporary, non-survivable, and will be destroyed eventually.
Jackson, what if AI bots had to pay to crawl your site?
On Tuesday, Cloudflare, which powers about 20% of the web, unveiled Pay Per Crawl, a private beta marketplace where website owners can charge AI companies micropayments every time they scrape content.
It's a move that could reshape the economics of the web in the AI era. Publishers can now choose: 1, let AI crawlers access their site for a fee; 2, allow them for free; or 3, block them altogether.
And Cloudflare says it's all about control, and with partners like Time and The Atlantic already signed to block AI bots by default, it's clear the battle lines are being drawn.
Why this matters? Historically, websites like Google scrape their pages in exchange for search traffic and ad revenue, but that trade is breaking down. Jackson, break it down for us.
Yeah, the new data from Cloudflare shows that Google scrapes about 14 times for every one referral, OpenAI scrapes about 1,700 times per one referral, and Anthropic scrapes 73,000 times per referral.
In the future, agents may get budgets to fetch info and pay per page they access, and Cloudflare wants to sit at the center of that.
Cloudflare is making a bet. If AI companies are going to extract value from the open web, it's time they start paying for it.
All right, that's it for Venture Daily. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope we helped you get a little bit smarter today.
And thank you to Content Stack for letting us film in your space here in Austin, Texas. We really, really appreciate it. If you like today's show, whether you're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or X, leave us a like, a comment, and a review. Throw us a 5-star rating if you think we earned it. And as always, we'll see you tomorrow morning here at Venture Daily.